Given that I am dressed, since this is a formal affair, I am dressed in a Bucky's onesie to really bring home how quality the Golden Boys are and the excellence we strive for every year in this awards ceremony.
Ah, yes. It is the golden time.
Oh, okay. On the streaming, I was like, "Oh, dude, you didn't link that in the Discord. I would have."
It's like, where's all of this golden talk?
Ah, yes, inspired by that same Texas excellence, Bucky's. So welcome to Fight Boyz, a show about professional and not so professional wrestling, and I bucked around and found out Scottye Moore.
I am your golden boy, Blake Tanner.
I demand a recount, the Dylan.
I'm Daddy Magic. Yeah, we're really all bringing the fashion-forward attitude that the Golden Boys demand. Blake's in pajamas, I'm in a Bucky's costume, and Dylan's just Daddy Magic today.
It's an upgrade, I'll be honest. I'm flattered. It's between that and the picture of Chuck Taylor where he's just clearly drunk off his ass in the crowd.
You know what? Either one feels good.
Either one feels good.
All right, we realized last year we gave out too many awards with 20 nominations, so this year we cut it down to about 15 awards, and this time we're going to start off with the Entertainer of the Year, which of course last year went to Kenny, by God Omega. I've also got some of the Discord's choices for who Entertainer of the Year is. Let's see, we've got Orange Cassidy as one of them, absolutely, and then also the Acclaimed featuring Daddy Ass. So, good picks there all around, but Dylan, would you like to kick us off with the third place Entertainer of the Year?
Listen, do you want to know what doesn't make Daddy Magic's nipples hard? Being disrespected with third place in this category.
Do we want to start out of the gate by your realization that you had earlier today when you looked over your picks again, Dylan?
Oh, yeah. I looked over and I was like looking over on my place and I realized that everything is because you guys never watched Dark and you didn't hear Daddy Magic when he did commentary for like the last 2-3 months. It was magical. It was magical.
He is the best part of the Jericho Appreciation Society because every week I will inevitably say sports. Entertainers.
Yeah, exactly. He's in your brain. His name's on your tongue, and you fucked him, and you fucked him over. He had that incredible promo after Blood and Guts. Incredible 5-minute promo, and y'all were just like, "Nah, he's not entertained. Go fuck yourselves. You and Jake Hager's stupid hack go in a room and just fuck yourselves."
I think that our contenders are pretty fucking strong, I'll say that. Yeah. I love Daddy Magic, though.
We do have some pretty strong contenders.
I also realized that you guys, for every category, nominated top people, and I just nominated not as top people that I thought were just as qualified, and you guys felt pretty comfortable telling me no.
Yeah, we're like, Scottye and I are like fucking BWI's top 500. We take the kayfabe into account.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dylan's like, Serpentico makes a good case for Wrestler of the Year.
The dude is a workhorse, makes everyone look strong, somehow has a cult following, and like has worked like 75 matches this year, or something fucking stupid. He's on TV every week. There's at least one Serp match between Dark and Elevation, like every week, sometimes both.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want everybody to know Dylan did not nominate Serpentico for Wrestler of the Year, but he had a response queued and ready.
I did like where recently Serpentico tweeted out that he had recently surpassed 100 losses in AEW, and he was like, y'all were counting? Why were y'all counting this? All right, on to second place for Entertainer of the Year, and this one was mine. And this year we're very blessed, I guess, in a way, because we can kind of talk about WWE again, which means I can talk about one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Sami fucking Zayn, who this year decided, I'm just gonna fuck everyone up and make everyone laugh as hard as I can in every segment that I am in. The honorary Uce storyline with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns has been absolutely killing it, and it's one of the Uce segment is probably my segment of the year. It's not my promo of the year, but like I even put that as an honorable mention of the Uce segment having to be mentioned at some point, because Sami Zayn has been, let me put it this way, when Elimination Chamber comes around, which is in Montreal, and they finally betray that boy, I will be openly weeping in my room watching, because he has been the glue that has held the Bloodline storyline back together, because it went on for a while, and I know a lot of people got bored of it, and then Sami just was the shot of adrenaline it needed ahead of what is going to be probably next year's Mania, going to be probably the last time we see a lot of the Bloodline. So, you know, I'm happy. I'm happy Sami got to make, and there it is.
Listen, no one should hold a title for a year. You shouldn't unify titles, not make a unified belt just to prop up one group.
All right, but our first place Entertainer of the Year comes from Blake Tanner, who's twiddling a mustache like a true villain.
Yes. Well, that's very apropos, because our Entertainer of the Year is better than your picks, and you know it, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Because I don't think there's anybody who is consistently, no matter what he's been given or taken, or we don't really know what's real or not anymore, and you just want to watch it burn all around him.
I don't know, man. Starks fucking whooped his ass tonight.
Starks killed him in that promo tonight, but like
paint thinner and ass.
I love that. And you know what? That's another thing, because what is a good heel if they aren't able to be insulted?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, even in that segment, it did feel like MJF was holding back on delivering like a great promo. That way Starks can stand out even more. MJF knows what each segment needs and is willing to deliver that every single time, even if it makes him look worse.
I'm also constantly entertained by him and his ability to somehow just get people just to hate him again, because it was starting to get where it was, and then he was just like, all right, well, gotta figure out a way to keep people entertained, and then he just fucked with it. He fucked with being a tweener and being meta about it for like a solid couple of weeks.
Yeah,
and you're not gonna get one. You're rarely gonna get talent that's gonna be given that much free reign for a reason.
Oh yeah,
and I loved like everything from his return promo, where he was just milking it up and trying to get heat. You could tell there was a point but they wouldn't let him have it.
Yeah, but it's pretty great. It's pretty great. No, these were all. I'm going to say they're all solid nominees. I'm about to throw Daddy Magic in there.
Including Daddy Magic. Actually, one of the Wrestle Babies did also say Daddy Magic in addition to, I can't remember what the other nominations. So yeah,
I want you to know, I was going to put the Acclaimed, but I was just like, well, like the fact that Daddy Magic had done it like multiple. It was like in the ring, on commentary, in backstage segments. I was like, nah, man, he's really like standing, like you said, he's standing out against Chris Jericho being there, essentially chewing scenery.
All right, well, on to our next category, our first years. It's not technically Rookie of the Year, because I think most of these people have been wrestling for a long time, but we consider it your first year in like AEW or the main roster of WWE, maybe even in NXT. How well did you do? Last year, Daniel Garcia took it and absolutely slayed it. And Dylan, would you like to crank us off with number 3?
Again, this is because you people haven't watched Dark. And you guys haven't, because all the people I voted for were because I've seen, like, so my third place pick is Willow Nightingale.
Absolutely.
And that's because I've watched her gain momentum and crowd support over the course of the entire year. Like, I've watched like the 8 or 9 months this has been, to where like, yeah, she'd get cheers in like AEW Universal, but like now people actively pop when her theme music plays, even when she's teaming with people like Sheeta and like everyone else, like the people are like, fuck yeah, Willow, like Willow's here. And you're like, when was the last time you heard someone say that since the Broken storyline? But she's just doing such a great job. She got all elite. She's in there like mixing it up with people, like getting pins. Like you can really tell. I was upset. And this is the only time I'll say it. I was upset that the ROH title matches Athena versus Mercedes, because I wanted Willow to be the ROH Women's Champion because she had come from Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah, I would say give it to Athena and then have Willow eventually beat Athena for it. That would be a really good feud.
Yeah, but like I was like, no, give it to the at least give it to one Ring of Honor person. Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, she's been killing it. She's getting over. She went to Japan for a bit, did a good run there. Like she's just she has all of the right kind of energy. Like you look at her and you're just like, it's like just the pure embodiment of it. She also used to come in and be like weighing in at just the right amount, which is just a lovely thing they dropped, but I always really enjoyed. And it's, she's a very feel-good wrestler that people are, like, starting to gravitate towards. And I'm just like, yeah, you did this on your own. You got yourself over. Well done.
Yeah. Well, speaking of people who got themselves over, and also speaking of Japan, we can lead into my second place pick, where we've kind of on the show before talked about like AEW allowing their wrestlers to do excursions and allowing other wrestlers to come in from other companies and do like an excursion with AEW. Well, we learned this year why you can't do that, and it's because AEW fans are ravenous and will demand Tony Khan steal that person away immediately, as is the case with Konosuke Takeshita, who is my pick for a first year. That boy came in, talked about how much he loves Cinnabon, and then just fucked shit up for I think it was only like a 1 or 2 month excursion he was over here for, and then of course he went back to. Yeah, it was like 2.5. And then, like, he went back to Japan, and then everyone was like, bring him back now. I want him back now. And now he has a full career in AEW. He's moved to America.
I want it now, Daddy.
He's fighting John Moxley this week, which is dating when this was recorded. But, like, Konosuke came in and they're like, have him wrestle just all the best people, which says a lot about how highly, like, TK thinks of him.
Could I? Okay, cool. You do realize that that's also probably from Kenny, because Konosuke literally went all the way you could through DDT as a multiple-time KOD champion.
Yeah.
Like, he was able to get over because he was the ace of a promotion before he came here. Like, God, if he had dropped the ball and sucked ass, like, we would never be able, like, he would never be able to, like, he's incredibly talented. Also, commentary put him over huge. Like,
they really
time.
did.
Yeah.
All right, Blake.
But yeah,
Blake.
no, he deserves it. But it was a thing of like, I wasn't as surprised because I was just I like looked him up and I was like, oh, okay, this all makes sense now.
Right. Yeah. Well, Blake, once again, bring us number 1. The only person to have been nominated for first year of the year two times in a row.
Yep. Because first time it was because he had not wrestled a match.
No,
he really only had one under his belt.
He had wrestled like 2 matches.
By the way, I would love to point out that Blake voted against his own pick.
I thought yours were actually better because my pick was technically nominated last time, but I didn't really consider his first actual year to be until he really started wrestling.
Yeah,
and
then he smashed it and got huge over.
Yep. And that's Hook, if you didn't fucking already guess.
You don't even know me.
We all still love Hook. We haven't talked about him a lot this year, just because like other stuff has been taken over more. But like fucking everything he's done, even Hookhausen. Come on, whoever thought of that? Yeah, good props all around. Oh,
You got Action Bronson over.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Also,
Action Bronson shit up.
another match where Daddy Magic put on like a clinic of like building it. Like I don't know. I'm gonna hold this one against you. I'll hold this one against you guys. I'll give you the later one. That's fine.
Yeah. All of 2023 is just gonna be like we are gonna hear anytime Daddy Magic does something.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Daddy Magic and the Acclaimed.
Yep.
God help you if they team up. God fucking help you.
Or if we get 2.0 versus the Acclaimed.
Yes.
I'll have to change pants immediately.
Yeah, but Hook has just continued to kill it in just about everything that he's been a part of. He makes such a good straight man like comedy character that it comes off perfectly, and now it can beat people up.
He hasn't cut a promo.
No, he has.
Like not like a full like multi-minute.
Oh yeah, no.
He's his 30 seconds. I think that's the max. The man has gotten over saying it's like Goldberg. He's gotten over like Goldberg at this point, which is just he's effortlessly cool in a completely different way to the point where people like he just walks out and people are like, oh, that guy's a badass. Okay, all right, well, I guess someone's gonna get their shit pushed in, and it does happen. He's gotten. I like how they've slowly let his opponents get more and more offense in on him. As time goes on, like he's gotten better and better people, but he still pulls it out. So he still looks dominant, but at the same time, like when he eventually does lose, they'll be like, well, yeah, like he's fighting like box or something.
Right. All right. Well, on to our next one, our first negative award of the year, the worst angle of the year, which last year went to The Factory versus Cody, which I just had flashbacks as soon as I read that.
God. Fucking, I pull out a Glock.
I pull out a Glock and I aim it at his head.
No,
well,
that was against House of Black.
Was it? Yeah, it was House of Black.
It was.
Wait,
no, it was the fucking. It was the backyard. Yeah, backyard.
No, that was last
segment.
year. Cody left early this year.
Yeah, that was last year. Or the
late last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have third place for worst angle of the year, and I think the thing that makes me so upset about it is how easily this angle should have been booked. Like, it was very obvious, and then it just became not bad per se, but just the same thing every single week. But it's the exceptionally long feud of the Blackpool Combat Club against the Jericho Appreciation Society, which on paper should work very well. Sports entertainers.
It did. It should have stopped after Blood and Guts, and then it just kept going.
It just kept going. That's more what I'm referring to, is when it just kept fucking going, and it's still happening right now. Like, Mox came out on Dynamite tonight and was like, this weekend, final battle, that will be the end of Blackpool Combat Club versus Jericho Appreciation Society. And in Discord, we were all like, promise? Please?
Really? Please?
But yeah, at some point it just became Tony Khan saying, I'm just gonna end every episode with a brawl between two factions, and that's it. I'm gonna do this kind of fun storyline with Daniel Garcia, and then when I build up all this good faith, I'm just gonna say, fuck it, he's still with Jericho at the last minute. Like, any really good parts of this angle got ruined. Probably this was the anti AEW rule. If you liked this angle, it got worse 2 weeks later.
No, because there was the bit where Eddie Kingston poured gasoline on Chris Jericho, and that moment will forever will forever live on, looking like just a straight serial killer. Like,
yeah, but that was before Blood and Guts, though. So, like, that was during the good part of it.
Good part.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna separate into two halves. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's like, well, there is one feud.
That was part of why I voted yours lower. I was like, no. I remember the good bits of it. Like, yeah, this is dragged on to be like mediocre, but like the highs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, see, that's like one of my later things I nominated, like, directly comes from, like, it involves some of that, and it's just like, yeah, I'm remembering the good bits.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of the bad bits, Dylan, would you like to get into your worst angle of the year? I just now realized I arranged it to where it's all Blake picking first for, like, these first 4 nominees.
Yep.
Yeah. So, speaking of Cody, when he left, he kind of
he left a void
on a shitty storyline to Sammy Guevara, who people already were kind of turning on because him and Tay Mello were like becoming very public. And while there's that whole thing where, like, it's none of our business, but, you know, we were personally bothered by him moving on so quickly and then eventually marrying somebody, but whatever, their life. He just has too much of a punchable face. Like, I know both him and Cody smile, and Cody does look like a smug prick, but I've never wanted to just straight take a book to Cody's face. Like one of those, like, old hardbound cover math books from high school, and just bam. Like, and then they wanted me to, I rooted for fucking, oh God, what the hell is his name? The
Scorpio Sky? Oh, no, Dan Lambert.
Yeah, I rooted for Dan Lambert. I wanted Dan Lambert to kick Sammy Guevara in the dick. That's how much I hated Sammy. I rooted for the former bad guys. Like, do you have any idea how much go away heat you have to have? That storyline also involved Scorpio Sky getting the TNT championship and proving that nobody cares about Scorpio Sky, which was disappointing, but I saw coming. And like, there was no positive. There was no one got over. No one got over. That angle had only losers.
Yeah, I feel bad too, because they did a double turn after a while where they were like, we understand America's top team is like a terrible group that everyone hates, but everyone's cheering them now over Sammy Guevara. So they just had to double turn it at the last minute. But now Blake Tanner, #1 with a bullet, the worst angle of 2022, isn't really an angle, but I understand.
Which is why I couldn't vote for it.
But listen, it is the worst thing I've seen on TV, which is heartbreaking because it started out as an amazing
idea. I got Dalton
idea.
Castle and the boys. Fuck you. I got Dalton Castle and the boys. You go straight to hell. You go straight to hell.
Let me actually announce the fucking thing first, Dylan. God damn it. No, it's bringing ROH TV into Dynamite, which it started out great, and it had some great bits, but it should have ended, and there should have been something else for ROH other than, like, sapping onto Dynamite like a male anglerfish onto the side of a female anglerfish and just turning into a big giant wart on it. That's what ROH has become, and it breaks my fucking heart.
Yeah. I mean, like
but
I
we
said,
did get Dalton Castle and the boys.
We did get Dalton Castle and the boys, and like I said, once again, dating when we recorded this, they set up what is arguably the biggest match of Tony Khan's Ring of Honor so far tonight, which is the Briscoes versus FTR3 in a dog collar match, which sounds badass on paper. The way they announced it was just having the ass boys show up and be like, hey, fuck you, FTR. Guess what? We're not gonna fight you, but some other dudes are this weekend. Get ready for it. We're not even gonna say the name of the people you're fighting because the people at TBS will get mad at us, but it's gonna be cool. And then young Sheldon played. It was the weirdest ending to AEW I'd ever seen.
I really want to know, like, I know that them boys, like, tweeted some stuff out, but, like, no one has 180'd and matured more than them as a tag team. Like, I know we're all about like cancel, like, not cancel, but like holding people responsible, but like the goal of that is so that people won't suck as much. And like they really have worked on it. They're like I'm pretty sure they and Nick Gage could just start rolling up to fucking like trans-hating conservative like rallies and just start whooping people's asses with bricks.
I mean, I was still pretty, I think earlier this year, a little bit off on them, but like my litmus test is fucking Effie, and Effie said like, no, they're good. We're cool. It's all right. And I'm like, okay, then they're fine. Also, they put on bangers, so you know what? It's okay.
I would pay money to see them do that, though, Dylan. And I'm pretty sure that's a crime, but I don't care.
Listen, I'll post their bail.
You and the rest of the internet. All right, up next, we've got the theme song of the year, which, of course, in 2021 was won by Jungle Boy and Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. This year, I'm sorry, Dylan, I really am. I listened to this song, and I do think it is third, but you take it.
Again, I suffer from the fact that I'm trying to like push up and coming wrestlers. Like last year, when after the awards, you admitted to me that Tyga Style was a banger.
Tyga Style is a banger. I will give you that one.
Yeah. So like it's that thing of like, well, there's no new main roster song. I really was just like, oh yeah, but I was like, but fucking Angelico got a new song that way better fits his character. And when he comes out and fucking like does fuckboy DJ dancing out to the ring, it's way better. It's 100% better. It is perfect for him. Like it just sounds, it perfectly encapsulates the feeling, because it just translates to feel the vibe, and that's all he's doing. He does the exact same dancing to everyone's music. The Butcher and the Blade will come out, he dances the same fucking way. Fucking Roosh comes out, he dances the same fucking way. Same like arms waving, like whatever's happening, like fucking like string on my dick, move around, like exact same. And like that music really captures it, because it's like, oh well, now it makes sense. So yeah, now I get it. You guys have like some like top tier people whose theme songs you want to push, but
most of the time though, people that Dylan brings up first become people that we bring up a lot.
Yeah. Also, I will say, I forgot to bring this up. The Wrestle Babies also said the Blackpool Combat Club storyline was the worst of the year, and then they also said the Dark Order Civil War. But I don't even know if that was this year.
It was. It was at the beginning.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. That one was rough. So I'll give them that. On to second place theme song of the year, a song that has since been described to me as something that makes people think of doorbuster Christmas deals, but it is my shit. And it's Claudio Castagnoli's new theme song, because apparently when you join the Blackpool Combat Club, they just take a piece of classical music, turn it into a rock version, and give it to you. And I absolutely adore it. The end of it that, they never get to, because he's usually in the ring at that point, it fucking slaps. Like, it really goes hard in the very last few moments.
That you never get to, which is why exactly. I was just like, I literally half rolled my eyes when you dominated this one, Scott. It was like a fucking chorus.
Oh no, I love it. I love this song. I
agree with the person that told you that it sounds like this, because that's also what it kind of sounds like to me.
It's like, well, it makes me think of Christmas, or like a holiday time that fills me with like a nostalgic joy that I don't get anymore because I'm an adult.
Yeah. Before we go to number one, though, the Wrestle Babies also nominated Danielson's theme song, which came in at the end of last year, but it's good.
No. After that live performance, fuck that song.
Oh, the live performance was exceptionally bad. And then also the theme song for Very Evil Danhausen that debuted at Full Gear. That was pretty fucking good. But now on to
that was a good one.
First place. Once again, luckily after this, Blake doesn't have another first place for, oh fuck, damn, how did you get this many first place nominations this year, bud?
I feel like it was strange because I came in
last year. So.
Yeah, I came in like at the end. I put in my shit last, and I'm like, oh really? They didn't think about that.
I think it's me and Dylan so vehemently disagree with each other that it lifted yours up somehow. All right, who is first place best theme song of the year?
Now this is an older theme song, but it checks out. Because since
this is the first year you could have nominated it. Yeah, it's the first year you could have nominated it.
Okay, then that makes sense. But with the WWE embargo lifted, I think that it means it's time to fucking burn it down. Seth Rollins, fuck yes,
sing my song.
He had all of like the class at the castle people singing it.
It's now become a thing. It's like Judas. Everyone sings his song when he comes down to the ring.
Yeah, that was why I was just like, I just remembered that bit where he was in the fucking Elton John outfit and people were singing it. I was like, no, it deserves it based on merit.
It's like, you've done it. You've done it. Mm-hmm. Fucking, this song is such a banger and a half, man.
Yeah. I thought it was like, because like he had that when he was first the Messiah, he had that weird kind of instrumental slow version, and that's what I thought this was. Then I actually listened to it and went, wait a minute, this song actually fucks. It is a very good theme song.
Yeah, but I was pouring through fucking recent theme songs as well, and I saw that his was changed like a little over a year ago. But fuck, man.
Yeah. With CFO out of WWE, a lot of people got new theme songs. Most of them just terrible versions of their old theme songs.
Yes. God, it's even worse than the shit that they pulled when they lost the...
Did they get Asuka a new theme song?
I don't think so. I've not...
Fuck. Okay, that was the only one.
That's a good one, yeah. But now on to promo of the year, which last year went to Hangman Adam Page for the cowboy shit promo. And well, this year had some all-timer promos just overall as well. Like I said, it's not a promo, but Sami Zayn making the entire Bloodline corpse on live television by just saying the word Usi is some of my favorite shit. Like the end of that segment where Paul Heyman just grabs the mic and is like, the tribal chief has informed me that this segment is over. Like, I think that was an audible from Roman. Like, we can't do better than this. We're just going to call the segment here, Paul. We'll do the rest in a backstage segment. That'll be fine.
Shit. That's...
hey, Blake, how's it feel to go from the top to the bottom so quickly?
I mean, I was at the top for so long that this is just a nice little vacation, bud.
Mm-hmm. And I will say the Wrestle Babies did agree with us overall on all of these promos.
Gotcha. But my pick for promo of the year was Moxley's rehab return promo, because not only do you have your heroic guy coming back from like fighting his own personal demons. He is back. He's looking better than he has in years. And fuck, how many fucking promos do you get? Do you get someone to just say, "Go fuck yourself"?
Yeah. Hey, get that fucking guy out of here.
It's like, yeah, get that fucking guy out of here. Go fuck yourself.
I think I said this on the show. I think TK gave him one fuck that he was gonna say, and he just used it too early. Because later on, I think he was gonna say fuck, and he had to edit himself. He's like, damn it, I wasted my fuck already.
Like, shit, he cut my mic if I said it. Oh well. Mm-hmm. It's just like it was a big feel good segment. It was super early in the year though, like I believe January.
Yeah.
So it was a bright precursor to some of the promos we fucking got for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Oh, I misspoke. Big Mike's. It wasn't that promo from Mox. It was the one after he squashed Punk and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? Is that not what was supposed to happen?" This is kind of a weird year because the second and first promo of the years happened within 1 week of one another. But my promo of the year, second place, does go to my boy CM Punk, because when you think about a promo, at the end of the day, it is about talking people into the arena. And while, yes, number one is the promo of the year, absolutely, it's not what talked me into the arena. It's not what made me want to buy a ticket to Revolution. It was instead when CM Punk came out with a present in front of him just after Valentine's Day, and then basically tore down explained exactly who he is as a character before explaining exactly who Max is as a character, and kind of setting up how different they both are while also kind of being the same, before leading into like that excellent comparison between Punk and Piper, and then just using the "Will you be my Valentine," obviously meaning Greg Valentine line. I've went back and watched that promo numerous times because it's just so good. It's so well delivered. He steals a line from fucking Street Fighter, the movie, at the end, which is the best cheesy shit, but I love it. A lot of his run, Punk to me felt like the protagonist of like a cheesy 80s action movie at times. And I think during the MJF feud that kind of got turned up to 1,000,000. And looking at it in retrospect of what happens the week after, it's all the funnier of Punk being like, yo, fuck this kid, I'ma tie him to me with a dog collar and beat the shit out of him with a chain. And then what leads in is what happens next week, the number one promo of the year.
Yeah, I don't know if we're talking about the same one is the problem.
Oh, really?
Mine happened later in the year after he came back. My promo is the one where MJF came in a Josh Allen jersey to Buffalo.
Oh, shit.
And played the crowd for half a promo on him being a babyface in classic baby. For like a solid 5 minutes, it was masterful because you could tell that he was being a caricature, but he carried it off so perfectly that he had them in the palm of his hand for like just 5 straight minutes until Mox came out. And then he dropped all pretenses completely, like he was taking off like a face mask, and then just proceeded to tear into literally everyone for the next. It was amazing. I've never seen someone do both sides of a coin so fluently, so effortlessly.
There part of the reasons why, like, I think that he is especially entertainer of the year, is that MJF has been in some of the most entertaining, like, on each side of the coin, in ring, out of ring, promo wise, upside down, back and forth. He has literally done almost everything you can do in a single year.
Yeah, and I do apologize, Dylan, for leading you into that. I did when I just saw you had written the MJF promo.
Okay. In Buffalo. I knew there were like, you would have been like, which one of the 30? Then
I also was incorrect. The Wrestle Babies did nominate, obviously, the MJF promo where he come out and cut that emotional promo after he gets challenged to the dog collar match, which kind of took the entire wrestling world by storm of, wow, we've never seen this before, where you see a character literally kind of break down exactly who they are, why they are, literally even giving a backstory to his fucking catchphrase of "I'm better than you," because he wants to be better than the best in the world. Like, that's one of my promos of the year, absolutely. So yeah, sorry about that lead in, but yeah, you're right, the Buffalo one did fucking slap as well.
That one. No, you were right about that one, but that was like one of the best in like a classical sense of like, oh wow. And this one, I was just like, this is a master class of how to like just overact but get everyone on your side. Like, cause he came out in it and he just started talking, but like, I was just like, how does nobody? I was like, are they really? I think the crowd is really buying this. This is amazing. It's like you watch somebody. It's like when you watch somebody pull a grift, and you're just like, I see it, but they don't. But like, yeah, like I'm not even mad. Respect. This is.
I did enjoy the one where he referred to Renee Young as Renee, the gal all the guys want to lay. I was like, Jesus, you can't just say these things, Maxwell.
This
All
is
right.
how you end up. They find you backstage with half your head caved in.
Shit.
This is how you get dropped in a river in Cleveland. It's not going to be hard. All right. Up next, we have the Women's Performer of the Year. Last year, it went to Chris Statlander. And I'm about to get horny on Maine for third place here. But it's rare you see a competitor, especially in the women's division, get inserted so easily into A, main event spot with main event performers, B, hold their own, and C, also somehow become the leader of the stable. I don't think I've ever seen that happen, but Rhea Ripley did that this year with the Judgment Day. And every single week has proceeded just to destroy the internet with the way she pins people. While
Have
also,
you ever domed a stable so hard you became the leader?
I think it was more a thing where like Finn is just recognizing the moment.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's like, I think at one point he said there are no leaders or something. And when you look at him, like he could have used it to elevate himself, but he used it instead to like make it so that he brought Dom up. He brought like everybody else up to the point where people see him slightly lower, but it's like, no, this is completely fine. Like the segment is just a bunch of us just fucking around.
Rhea Ripley turned Ray's kid into Sub Mysterio, and I really do appreciate her for that.
Douchey Sub Mysterio. That Christmas segment was great. Like,
I'll tell you what. You have domed the Dom.
You domed the Dom this year. But yeah, that's my pick for Woman of the Year is Rhea Ripley. Dylan, take it. You're right. I'm just gonna let you know, buddy. You're right.
Yeah, but you all voted against me.
I have reasons.
Yeah.
How much of it is to do with the corner move she does?
Oh, you mean let them eat cake?
Yeah.
Rectum,
I believe that was another one from the
Sweet Cheeks
music.
Yeah.
Sweet Cheeks music. Yeah.
Oh.
No. So my wrestler of the year is Jamie Hayter. I'm a longtime hater myself. And so here's the thing. My enjoyment of her is based in one part on how talented she is and how so she is an incredibly powerful female wrestler, physically strong, very imposing presence. But unlike other people in the division that do that, like Statlander, obviously very strong, other people, hers it just comes off more. I don't know if it's the Britishness or the fact that she trained like Joshi for a while, but when she starts smacking people, I was like, no, that probably hurt real life.
It's like, no, I could not have taken that. No.
I could not have. No, would have cried like a bitch. And then part of it is the fact that she overshadowed Britt Baker in Britt Baker's own group. And that made me, don't get me wrong, I'm still mad as fuck that she didn't get to win the title clean. Rebel and fucking Britt had to stick their nose in it like Hulk Hogan in a goddamn Macho Man segment. But she still won, and everybody was still rooting for her in that match and the 4-way match before that. Everybody, me included,
that match was so fucking good.
Yeah,
that was a match.
Was everybody was talking about the match with Tony, and I was like, really, the 4-way match was way better. There were so many they had me so many times. So many times. I was just like, but. No, she's just an overall fantastic performer, fantastic presence. I didn't listen to her promo tonight or whatever when she sat down with Tony. I hope it went well.
Yeah, it went pretty well. And then later they announced Britt and her versus Saraya and whoever Saraya chooses in a match in January. So that'll be fun.
I hope. Who the fuck could I get? I hope it's Statlander. It's probably Statlander.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Jamie Hayter 100% deserves to be the face of the women's division. She definitely is, especially once she gets the albatross that is Britt Baker off of her, will be able to ascend to such great heights.
I will say one half of the Wrestle Babies agreed with you. The other half of the Wrestle Babies that submitted agreed with Blake for our number one women's performer of the year.
You know, you don't just give your interim champion status to anyone, especially when that interim championship just becomes, you're the champion now, basically. And I hate that it was never official. Toni Storm.
They did make it official when they
retroactively.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the Wikipedia thing, it'll have a thing
Good.
About it.
All is right with the fucking world then.
She was a fighting champion. I will give her that.
Yeah, like I appreciate workhorses, and that is some of my favorite. My favorite wrestlers are the workhorses. Fucking your Moxleys, your Bryan Danielsons, Toni Storm. She's gonna be out there every fucking week with that championship, and she's not gonna back down. She's got that scrappy nature.
Yep. Toni is honestly probably since, I'm sure other people will say Cheetah, I'd say Britt, the best champion they had. Like, a phenomenal women's champion. One of their best babyface champions, easily, in my opinion. So, yeah, big ups.
I wish they had let her... The only reason I didn't have her was because I wish they had let her flesh out her personality more. Because, she was a babyface. Yeah, she was a fighting champion. But you didn't know anything about her, really, unless you watched that RJ City segment where you, that was all the personality that I ever got from her. It's and after she lost the belt, that segment, she became a better champion after she lost it with that segment. They had let her be while she held the belt for 4 months.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And when they you can use tragedy to build a story. That's the beautiful thing about wrestling. And now it's going to be so much better when she wins it back. Or when she's in contention to win it back. Because we all remember the good days when Toni Storm was champion and we didn't have to worry about shit.
Honestly, it would be a fun storyline just in general for her to be like, I want to hold the actual belt. I don't want them to call me interim during my reign. And I don't want them to give it to me retro. I want to earn it. That'd be a fun feud. But now on to our heel of the year. Last year, our heel of the year was MJF. Blake, would you like to start off with your heel of the year?
He just keeps fucking making new shit up, and it's funny and stupid, and it makes me angry, and it makes me want more people to punch him in the face. It is none other than the Ocho, Chris Jericho.
Yup.
That's part of the reason I couldn't make him heel, because I was just like, nothing you did made me want to not see you anymore. Because I realized that with the Ring of Honor stuff, he used I know it was part of the JSBCC thing where he became the Ocho,
right?
But he used it in such a way to elevate Ring of Honor talent. Bandito has a contract because of this storyline. Dalton Castle's gonna have a contract. After that thing, it gave people a shot, and it wasn't because we hate him. It was a thing of this is gonna be entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline in general is great. Of just I want to destroy Ring of Honor. I want to make it. I want to get rid of the legacy that it's carried. That's such a great storyline. And then Ian Riccaboni wrote up this whole blog post about he's trying to destroy Ring of Honor. And in doing so, has ironically become one of the best champions Ring of Honor has ever had.
Yeah, he brought that up to Daddy Magic.
I mean, that's the thing is, he's a fucking Dragon Ball villain, the one that comes down and is I'm going to destroy Earth in 47 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
You better train up.
All right, Big D, your heel of the year.
I contend that this is the heel of the year for Go Away Heat. I contend that Sammy Guevara is the literal heel of the year. I maintain that there is no one I am less, and the crowd. Oh my god, they used to at least like pop like a little bit. Dead silence every time that Sammy Guevara comes out. It is
where was
satisfying.
Was it India where he was at that boxing contest? And he was like, "Yo, India, you want to see me box?" And then just dead silence from the audience.
Good.
Yes.
People got to, it was listen, the worst part about it is he brought Ty down with him.
Yeah.
Like, she was one of the most over babyface. I was like, no, we'll do it together. We'll be like Cody and Brandy. It was like, people didn't like Cody and Brandy either. I don't know how to break this.
They literally took over that role. They took over that role and did it better than Cody and Brandy did.
Yes. By making people hate them more with Go Away. Now they just don't want to be. Like I said, Sammy Guevara, I have never seen a more I've never seen somebody where anytime they come onto my screen, I just like almost audibly go, man, fuck you. Like, just for taking up time. He gets added to matches. There was a brief moment in that Fatal 4-Way for the Ring of Honor Championship where I wanted him to win, if only like just because it would mean that the Jericho Appreciation Society was probably going to break up and like maybe I'd get 2.0 and Garcia back. Like that was really their only motivation.
All right. Well, on to our number one heel of the year, and Discord agreed entirely.
You picked first and you cheated. Let's just be honest.
We knew it was gonna be a fucking three-peat. We knew that the man who won the Dynamite Dozen Ring 3 years in a row would also win Heel of the Year 3 years in a row, because congratulations, MJF, you've done it 3 times. You've got the turkey for Heel of the Year. You were in...
He did punch William Regal in the back of the head.
Yeah.
You did crack William Regal in the back of the skull with some brass nuts. Like, here's the thing. If he had done what he had done last year, he would have still gotten a Heel of the Year. But this year, he still upped his game even more. It's insane how good he keeps getting, and I'm terrified of like the levels this boy will reach.
At this point, we should just call it the MJF Heel of the Year award.
Yeah, it's like the Bryan Danielson award in The Observer. It's just we gotta name it after this guy.
Or for OSW, the Hulk Hogan, kind of the year award. It's just because the most impressive thing about him being Heel of the Year is that he did what Cody couldn't, except on the opposite end, where the crowd wanted him to be a baby face, and he was just like, go fuck yourself, and he managed to get them to boo him again, which is what Cody tried to do, where he's like, no, I'm a baby face, and everybody wanted to be a heel, and he lost that battle. But MJF was just like, all right, they cheered for me when I won, kind of leaned into it. What can I do after this match against Mox, where I clearly cheated, but people cheered me? I'm gonna punch this old British man in the back of the head.
It's like, what? He's leaving?
I'm gonna beat this old man down. I'm done with it. And also, like, I know some people like it, some people didn't. I adored the angle at All Out with the whole sympathy for the devil, walking out to the ring and getting a casino chip, having not even wrestled in the match proper. Like, I adored that shit. It was good payoff. I wish the firm had kind of stayed by his side and didn't become part of that weird, is he a babyface, is he not angle. But
especially
like,
because they died a death now.
Yeah, they're pretty rough nowadays. But yeah, MJF, Heel of the Year. Congrats, you fucking asshole.
Yep.
All right, now we're moving on to Match of the Year, and this might be the first year I actually did proper research and watched these matches back to really determine my order. But D, I'll let you start things off with your. I feel bad for how many times you came in third this year, but I'll let you start things off.
For valid entries, by the way, I did not phone any of these in.
All right.
I phoned in the Angelico one. Fine, I phoned one in.
Okay.
One. I did not phone in the trios title championship match between the Elite and the Dark Order Cowboys. That match fucking ruled. I don't care what either of you say. Your opinions are invalid. Hangman and Kenny stood off against each other in the ring. Fucking Rick Knox was like, no, you're not legal. They both dragged their partners to the end, then tagged in and beat the shit out of each other for 30 seconds. What more do you want? What do you want?
It was such a great way to just like call back to that animosity, and I loved it.
Yes, it was the culmination of a tournament. There was like an ongoing story. Like, it paid off in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked the Aussie Open and Osprey match a little bit more. But that's whatever.
This is one of the few where we all picked, like, for our first place, our like nominations.
Oh yeah, we all were like, no, this is definitely match of the year. Fuck you two. One of the ones from Discord, by the way, was Dax and Cash earlier in this year, which those two
Dax
put on
versus Cash.
Yeah,
that was
a good one. The other choice of the Wrestle Babies is my choice, and number 2 for match of the year. Of course I fucking picked a Punk MJF match. Of fucking course I did. I had to. I still adore that storyline to this day. There's a great documentary online where a guy just kind of compiled all the best moments into one 45-minute video. It's called Better Than You. Check it out. But I did have to go back and watch the Chicago match and then the one in Orlando. Hey, Dylan, fun fact, if you're not surrounded by idiots who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, that dog collar match is really fucking good. Dog collar match is really good.
That's why it was lower on my list, and I was like, I was there for that live, and like besides the finish, I can't remember a single spot in that match.
Now you had Max reaching for the microphone. Give me the fucking mic! And then the whole crowd popping because they heard the word fuck and we're all children.
Yes.
There were numerous great moments, the attempts at the Pepsi plunge, all of the callbacks to their previous match, this time with Max actually being able to use the chain to wrap around Punk's neck as opposed to like wrist tape. It was just the culmination of a really, really good storyline, or really good, my favorite storyline of all fucking time. And I think they paid it off amazingly. And what was a brutal dog collar match, the blood flowed. I adored it. But yeah, that it was really, really good shit. But it's not the match of the year. And I honestly think if I had watched this live, this may have been my proper match of the year as well.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it. They put up the full match earlier today, and I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I saw bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, it is definitely worth a rewatch. God, I may even rewatch it again this week. Just
it's good.
How warm and fuzzy it makes me feel. By that, I mean terrified at points. That is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania.
No, not at
WrestleMania. No, goddamn.
It was at Hell in a Cell. The Mania match was kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Because they fucking moved the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view around so much.
Yeah.
By the way, I want you to know, if you told me a year ago, hey, listen, so Cody's going to go back to WWE, I was like, all right, that sucks, but that's cool. Fine. He's also going to have a 5-star match, and I would tell you to get your fucking head checked. And then if you were like, and he's going to have like a torn pec during it.
Yeah, the whole time.
He's going to wrestle, the whole time that he does like 3 weeks before because he doesn't have proper lifting technique. I'd be like, Scottye, you're high, get out of here.
What is it with Cody Rhodes in first matches and getting 5 stars?
Well, no, he didn't, because the Mania one was terrible.
That wasn't a match. That was an extended segment.
That was a welcoming. That was a welcome to WWE.
You know what? First time you show up, that's not a real match.
Yeah.
No. This fucking match, though, from goddamn entrance to exit, like, I have not seen a Hell in a Cell match this good in years.
I would argue this could be a new, what's our term for it? Not capstone. litmus test pretty much for like what we hold against for a great Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, this would be a great way to introduce someone to the idea of a Hell in a Cell match by showing them just pure quality.
And it's not because the thing with the Foley Taker match, which obviously is the Hell in a Cell match, but also it's like, this is a great match, but I don't want to see you doing any of the shit they did in that match. I don't want to see you doing any of that. This one, the only thing I would say don't do is don't wrestle with the torn pectoral muscle, but like, that did not play into it mentally for me as much as I thought it would watching it back. Then again, we do now know nowadays, like, he couldn't have fucked it up worse. So it was fine, but like the majority of the enjoyment I got out of the match was Seth Rollins, who has been killing it this year.
Yeah, Seth has had a great year, like in general. Fucking everything he does.
He puts on Cody's ring jacket and starts strutting around the ring in it.
Listen, dude, nothing's gonna beat where he showed up in his Shield outfit to wrestle Roman.
Yes,
to the old Shield theme music through the crowd.
Drip King Seth Rollins, this whole run, it has taken everything good about heel Seth Rollins, like original heel cackle Seth Rollins, and extended it with paid DLC, and now he he can actually win matches, unlike that last run.
Yeah, he's really good.
My favorite comment is still from Randy Orton. Was it Randy Orton who said your drip game is so dry? Fucking Matt Riddle's trying to smoke it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that was Montez. That sounds like something Montez was.
No, it was Orton. I have some. Yes. Yeah. All right, on to our most improved of 2022. Last year, our most improved went to Miro. This year, third place goes to me, and it's for a man who had go-away heat with me in the first year I saw him wrestle, and it only got worse from there. And then
Jesus Christ.
And then suddenly, in 2022, after over a decade wrestling for WWE, he just said, why don't I fucking crank out some bangers after bangers after bangers? Because it's Sheamus. I never thought I'd be in a position in life to say I absolutely love what Sheamus is doing, but with the Brawling Brutes and with Sheamus just being this tank top wearing aggressive Irishman who's like, I'm gonna come out to the ring and I'm gonna beat the shit out of people. Like, yeah, that's all he needs to be, and it's really fucking good. His matches are great. His matches with I'm not calling him fucking Gunther. With Walter, amazing. One of my favorite matches of all year were those two at Clash at the Castle. Sheamus has stepped his game up this year, and it's to a point where now when they were like, oh yeah, the Bloodline's gonna face a team led by Sheamus, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good pairing for them. Like, he has stepped up and actually now does seem like a main event guy versus in the past when he just seemed like a guy they put in the main event.
I wish I could have rated Sheamus higher, but I think I've kind of felt that since the bar. And I think that is the difference, because the whole bar storyline from the Best of 7 series onward, honestly, showed me like, oh yeah, I always forget how good Sheamus is because of how dog shit his booking is.
Yeah, I guess most improved. Sheamus's booking. Let's go with that one. All right, Blake, who's our number 2 for most improved?
That's a chap by the name of Wheeler Yuta.
My boy, my sweet summer child, my tiny little baby.
He's just fucking... he just pops in. Fucking Mox and Danielson are like, hey, you want in? You're gonna have to fight Mox. Okay.
Twice.
And they put on 2 of like my favorite fucking matches of the year. And I'm like, who the fuck was this guy again? I'd never really heard of Yuta before this. Like, I'd never really followed him or anything.
I knew him from...
you should have watched more AEW Dark and Elevation.
I knew him from the weirdest part, which is IWTV did The Masked Wrestler, which was The Masked Singer, but instead with indie guys just under masks in a tournament. And I can't remember if Yuta won it or if Yuta was like second place, but that's the first time I saw Yuta was on The Masked Wrestler. I'm looking that up right now. Dylan, with all of that being said, our number one most improved wrestler of 2022.
So, you know, when you win like the first year award for us, or like even when you win like a rookie of the year, very rarely the next year they were like, hey, you were a standout. By the way, you got even better. But Daniel Garcia just fucking like he was already doing great. And then he just looked at everybody like, fuck you. Watch this. Hold my beer. Hold my beer. He fucking smash out of the park with like a fucking series of matches with Danielson. And people will complain about Brian not wanting to be AEW champion and like that he's hurting. But like matches like he had with Garcia where he's putting younger talent over, make that talent. Like Daniel Garcia is now like he went from like a lower card champion, like a lower card, like low tier, like maybe lower mid tier to like he's upper mid tier now. Like he jumped a whole place. Being with Jericho has helped him improve his like overall character work. Yeah, he's got a sick new like. Actually, no, I fucking hate the Dragon Sleeper. It's a fucking shitty move. It never looks like you're getting choked out. It just looks like somebody's uncomfortably holding your face under their like.
He's mostly moved armpit. Back to the Dragon Tamer, which was the
sharpshooter.
Yeah, sharpshooter.
Fucking love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's been. I didn't think I could like him more than I did with the 2.0, like Sun.
Yeah.
But now it's like he's the leader and they're his backup. Whereas before they were like two dads being like, our homicidal son will maim you. Don't try to feed him.
Careful, he bites.
He does. Careful, he breaks limbs.
All right, up next we have the worst match of the year. Last year that went to not a single match, but instead the entire Queen's Crown tournament from WWE.
It lasted less than the length of a match.
I'll start with our third place, and for me, this one's not. It's not technically the worst match of the year because both of the competitors in this match are very good professional wrestlers. It is A, just disappointing because of what it could have been, and then B, just was a slog to get through overall. And it's the Shark Cage match between Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho, wherein halfway through, the Shark Cage stipulation just didn't fucking matter anymore because the JAS were able to slip through the bars of the cage and just got out like that. As far as like any it felt like the Lesnar-Moxley WrestleMania match where it was like, this is no DQ and it's going to be super violent, and it's like, is it though?
No, is it Brock crazy? Doesn't want to do that shit. What, make Brock Lesnar work?
Yeah, it felt like we were no longer seeing the Eddie Kingston that poured gasoline over a man, and it felt like we were dealing with an Eddie Kingston who was like, I'm done working with Chris Jericho and I just want this to be over. I'm done with this bullshit. And luckily he was after that, but it was just a very disappointing end to an unfortunate feud which saw Jericho win again when Eddie desperately needs a win at this point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my worst match of the year. Dylan, second place.
So... You ever been embarrassed for a match as it was happening?
The second-hand embarrassment?
Yeah, second-hand embarrassment where you're just like, oh, God, the internet's going to fucking rip that apart. That's how I felt like 2 minutes into Athena versus Jade whenever they fucked up the interference spot and it just didn't get back. By the way, Athena put her working boots on. She tried. You can see she tried.
Yeah.
But, like, it just wasn't. I think her mistake was she tried to wrestle to a level above what Jade can do.
Oh yeah.
Cause physically, Jade can do probably anything, like include break my spine in half. But as a wrestler, like it's still coming together. She's light years better than she was during the pandemic, but like she's still only like the 50-yard line. Like the touchdown's still a ways away. And like that match was just one where I was just like, every time something slipped up or something, I was like, ah, Jesus. It was the only match during that card where I was just like, this is actively losing me. That's disappointing. And like, don't get me wrong, I know some of Jade's other matches aren't great. Her one against Nyla wasn't even spectacular outside of her wardrobe choice.
The feud was great, though, at least for that one. The story was great.
Nyla Rose was great. Nyla Rose is awesome. And the fact that she showed up in a lowrider with like Cholo fucking Marina Shafir was the best. But yeah, no, the match with Athena was just hot garbage. It was hot garbage. Mostly because they fucked up. It caused Jade to have to kick out of Athena's finisher. It's like that thing where Papa Shango didn't show up, so fucking Sid kicked out of the Hogan leg drop. Where it's just like, oh, cool, you fucked up everything.
Before we get to first place, I will say some other choices, honorable mentions. The buy-in for All Out, that match where Ty broke Ruby's nose. Yeah, that one was rough. And then also, once again, this one is not because it is a technically sound or technically unsound match. It's just an uncomfortable match. The Daniel Garcia match, like the first one they had where they were like, hey, what if the story of this match was just about how many concussions this man has gotten? And that's just all we're going to make this match about, is destroying your brain. And I agree. I was not a fan of that one.
So the thing is that actually that first nomination actually plays into part of why I hate Sammy Guevara, because he straight dropped Ruby on her head and neck during that match too.
Oh yeah. It was a rough one.
Like just nonchalantly, like did not try to protect her at all. Like, man, fuck that guy.
But when it comes to the worst of the worst, let me tell you something, boys. I don't think it gets much worse than winning a wrestling match by kicking someone with a football at WrestleMania.
It's literally
that this existed. I legit, you wrote it, and I was like, the fuck is he talking about? Pat McAfee, and like then you put something I think in Discord about the soccer bit. I was, oh fuck, that's right, it did happen.
It's literally the fucking Simpsons man gets hit in groin with football, but his man's just kicking a football at Pat McAfee.
It's fucking WrestleMania!
WrestleMania.
It also made Vince McMahon the oldest person to compete at WrestleMania and win. I fucking hate. This is going to be the last year we get to do any kind of like real true Vince in wrestling related shit talk, I think.
Yeah.
And I need it to end with this match. Vince McMahon had his fucking time and he should have dissolved back into fucking like the wrestle soup that he came from a long time ago.
But I got bad news if you're wanting that to be the last time we talk about Vince, because moving on to surprise of the year, last year that went to Minoru Suzuki showing up at All Out.
Nothing will beat that. Nothing for me will ever be. There's nothing you can do.
Well,
there's nothing Tony Khan can do.
They certainly tried this year. Would you like to look at third place, Dylan?
Yes, I would. And Blake, while you were gone for a second, Scotty did ask me to like expand upon this. So it's not that I was surprised that the Elite came back for Full Gear. What I was surprised by is that they somehow managed to top their level of over-the-topness by acquiring the rights to Kansas's Wayward Son in order to not only to start off with the Justin Roberts from North Carolina, and that's what they hard transition into Kansas.
God.
Nothing can prepare you for that. I could have told you it was going to happen before it happened. I could have beep for bit laid it out, and you would have said, "Go fuck yourself," and boom, like that's. So I understand in the context of maybe not, but like you need to understand. For me, as somebody that has followed the Elite literally since their inception, like maybe haven't watched all Being the Elite, but like I've seen almost every match. I was like, how did you? I was like, I thought we had. I thought after the Dark Order Elite match where they came out as the fucking Toon Squad, I thought we had reached the peak of cheesy like wrestling intros, and they were just like, "You hold my Diet Coke, watch this."
But yeah, I get that. I get that a lot because that's honestly a lot of how I feel about my pick.
Yeah. Well, why don't we get into second place right here with Blake Tanner?
Yeah, because that is fucking Claudio Castagnoli in AEW. That fucking I honestly think, because oh gosh, what pay-per-view did he debut at? Or what special? It was Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, that's part of why I downvoted this, because I was still a little salty about the fact that I didn't get D-Bry versus fucking ZSJ.
Yeah, that was a bummer of it, but what came was, instead of what they were obviously going to debut Claudio with, which is helping at the end segment by joining Blackpool Combat Club.
Which he did anyway.
Yeah, which he did anyway, which was fine.
They changed the ending. They did the same beats like I didn't know he was coming.
It was pretty fucking wild that they did that, because but by the time I was just like, I knew that Claudio was going to come in to do that, at least. That's what I was sure of. But when they finally called the shot of like, oh no, it's Claudio's just going to be wrestling tonight. He's going to be wrestling Zack Sabre Jr.
Yep.
What?
I remember being, well, for one, exceptionally high watching Forbidden Door, and at one point being so thoroughly sports entertained by what I was viewing that I had to take out my camera and take a picture of the screen of them wrestling, because I was like, I don't want to forget how good this is. This is a very good matchup. But it was not my surprise of the year. My surprise of the year does go to the fact that WWE is good again, folks. Hey, I don't think anyone ever thought there would be a silver bullet that was able to take down the werewolf known as Vincent Kennedy McMahon, but apparently numerous sex allegations and paying people off is a very good silver bullet to take him down.
Oh, especially paying people off on fucking company dime, too. Yeah. That was tracked back to him. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Vince, did you not think about this when you made your company public?
And, when he left, like, a lot of people were saying, like, well, he'll probably still be, like, running, like, secretly behind the scenes or something like that. No, he's not. Because of the fucking people I've seen brought back on my television. Walter has a run with the IC title that's becoming legendary. So, yes, I know for a fact Vincent Kennedy McMahon is gone. And the product is getting very good, to a point where there are weeks where I'm like, AEW, I guess I'll tune in, but I gotta check out SmackDown and Raw. I gotta tune in for those. So, yeah, it's good to live in a world now where there's actual wrestling competition, because when AEW came along, people are like, oh, it's competition. No, it's not. It's a show that's good and a show that's horseshit. Now there are actually two very good shows that you can kind of choose between.
Yes.
And that's the most shocking thing about wrestling.
People say bingo cards and all this shit, but I this is, out of all of the things that have happened this year, last year, all the way back to fucking 2020, this is the most buck wild surprise that has happened during almost all of that, I think.
Yeah.
This is something that none of us expected until the day that Vince McMahon just died in his office.
And
Yeah, exactly.
It was the fact of how it happened, of like, oh, he paid an escort with company money that he poorly tried to handle. Also, John Laurinaitis is involved. He's also fired. It turns out he's just as shitty a person as you thought he was back in 2010.
Turns out the dude with attitude, Johnny Ace, also involved in this whole thing.
Yep.
All right, let's get into our next award, the storyline of the year, which last year was given to Miro for becoming God's favorite champion.
And then trying to fight God.
All right,
so he can go back to his hot wife.
I will say the Discord did agree with Blake on their third place choice.
Yes, and that is... Listen, when Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley were going to fight, that was going to be fun.
Yeah.
But then Bryan was like, hey, we should fucking team up. And Jon was like, I don't fucking know. Fucking fight me first. And then they fought, and then it's like, it almost turned into a bigger feud. But none other than William fucking Regal comes out to sort their shit out, makes them shake hands and team up and says... No.
After he slaps the shit out of Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson.
Slaps the shit out of some young motherfuckers. And he just lays down the law. This is what William Regal does in wrestling now. He does it better than anybody else. And he made a stable for his short but oh so sweet time in AEW. He built
the BCC.
I want you to know that looking back, William Regal, for his comments to Excalibur alone, could have been a strong contender for Entertainer of the Year.
Now that I think about it, given the stipulation, William Regal also a strong contender for First Year of the Year award.
I think we said that you had to wrestle.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he did wrestle. I was fixing I gave it to Sting one year as well.
It's like, but Sting wrestles.
Yeah. All right. Dylan, second place for storyline of the year.
So I don't know if you know this. Everyone loves the Acclaimed.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. What the fuck?
I know, right? It's because you're a cop. So I often kind of to myself lament the fact that in the idea of the boys stable, you're people that are held down, never become champions, that all of mine end up actually being champions. So it was kind of cathartic whenever the Acclaimed won the AEW titles, because one, I thought they might win it at All Out. I was really, because that was the high point of the fucking show. It went high twice. There was my match of the year, and then there was that. And then the bit that from before that was them trying to be like, we deserve this. We've been here not day one, but we formed this together for 2 years. We're not fucking losing to two WWE rejects. Go fuck yourselves. Then they lost. And it was everybody was crestfallen. And then it came back around to the next match. They had the coronation in NYC. Everybody loses their shit. Honestly, the storyline of just them and Swerve in Our Glory together, if you combine that whole trilogy, that honestly is an even better, bigger part of it, because then you get sociopath Swerve, and then you done fucked up at the last match, and it's just such a great overarching thing, and it means the world to me that the Acclaimed are getting their roses, and they just had that storyline, that moment.
Oh yeah,
it truly came it was. Oh shit! Fuck.
We've been going.
Yeah, it was one of those moments that's just it almost kind of took me by surprise just how great the storyline was, and it came out of that it just kept building upon itself, especially the Acclaimed, Swerve in Our Glory, like all of that. It was a perfect feud.
But it wasn't my feud of the year. It was not my storyline.
You didn't even say anything nice about it. All right.
Oh no, I loved it. I love the Acclaim.
Okay, thank you. I just needed to hear you say it.
My favorite part of the whole Swerve in Our Glory thing is when they broke Daddy Ass's fingers strictly so they could sell foam scissor fingers at the next week's episode of Dynamite. I was like, that's fucking genius. Break this man's fingers.
I know. I fucking.
Y'all, I ranted about this storyline to my Uber driver the day after Revolution. I've already talked about it on this episode. I talk about it regularly. It is almost akin to, God, this is a fucking nerdy ass comparison, but kind of like the Killing Joke of like how that was kind of somewhat explaining the origin of the Joker. And this is explained the origin of AEW's greatest villain, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. It explained what drives him. It also is a fun takedown of like parasocial relationships and what role does a celebrity have in the mental health of their fan base, which is they don't. But also fans will be blaming you for stuff like that. So are you responsible for creating these monsters? Do you need to take them down? Can you ever be the person you once were? Like talking about Punk. It's Punk and MJF was the feud of the year. But like the whole time Max being like, well, I want that CM Punk. I want the one from the past. I want that guy. And of course, Punk being like, I'm a 40-something-year-old man at this point. I'm not about to come out and be like an edgy dude, but I'm good as I once was. Like, I'll fucking do it. I'll take you down once if I have to. And
I'm as good once as I ever was.
Exactly. So
I'm gonna come out to some ROH shit that no one's gonna understand except like good fans, and they're gonna fucking lose their mind like Scottye did.
Oh yeah, it was a phenomenal storyline, and it always knew where to escalate, where to go in the story. It had a great emotional turn, of course, near the end with Max delivering that lengthy promo of how much Punk mattered to him. And it was a story that I feel like any super fan of CM Punk could have connected to. Like I said, after that promo MJF cut, my first reaction was, that is the promo I would have always cut if I had to feud with CM Punk. Is the, you abandoned me, you left me, how fucking dare you do that to me? That is
and
like that.
Come back.
Yeah, and come back and expect me to cheer you in that moment. Like, it was, everything about it all fit together. It was so great. It's also one of the reasons why Brawl Out hit me, I think, hard, is the fact that I was like, you're telling me we are going to get the final match, Punk versus MJF, one last time, the end of this storyline, because Punk just wanted to eat some muffins and yell at motherfuckers and throw punches, and Ace wanted to bite a guy. That I don't get that anymore. So
he also tore his bicep.
Yeah, that was another part of it. Well, that's what he gets for trying to do a buckshot lariat. Anytime you do that, you're gonna get injured if you're not Hangman Adam Page. It's the cursed move that can only be used by the cowboy. It's the Mjolnir of professional wrestling. Only the pure of heart can wield it.
You must be worthy of the buckshot.
All right. Well, now on to Tag Team of the Year, which in 2021 went to the Young Bucks. This year, third place. I'm just gonna say PWI said they were number one, so I don't exactly see why you guys.
PWI also said the Good Brothers were number 5. So get the fuck out of here.
Holy shit, they'd be smoking some shit at PWI.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, my tag team of the year does go to the Usi ones, the fucking Usos, and it's more for storyline reasons than actual matches. But like I said earlier, the stuff they've been doing with Sami Zayn is amazing. I really enjoy the dichotomy of now Jimmy being just this laid back, chill dude, and the storyline with Jay just on his own, I've adored with Sammy. Just the storyline of like, I had to get beat up inside of a cage, watch my brother get choked out in front of me, went through literal months of mental torture to be accepted into this bloodline again, and this ginger fuck just gets to waltz in and have fun with it. So I've loved that. I've loved everything the Usos have done this year. I genuinely think they've always been in contention for like top 5 tag teams of all time, and they've come a very long way. I recently watched every episode of NXT Redemption. Watch those videos if they're out already. And yeah, they weren't that great back in the day, but holy shit, they are amazing. They are in the New Day Usos match where the New Day are fighting for their opportunity to reclaim the titles and protect their legacy of being the longest reigning champs. Like, that was an emotional, like, gripping story, and I loved it. So yeah, Usos were one of my tag teams of the year. But second place, Blakey T.
These guys have been collecting our love for many years, but this year they've been collecting titles. They've been putting straps around waists. Say yeah, it's FDR.
They do have a banger theme. Fuck, that song came out this year. I could have used that. God damn it.
Oh shit, you're fuck.
I know, right? It's so good.
That would have been a contender. My God.
Yeah.
I fucking love FDR. Like, I just see like FDR in a match is just always going to be just some of the most crisp tag team wrestling with some of the best storytelling that you could hope to see. And these guys are just like on the fucking ball.
Yep.
Always on the ball.
They're always very, very good. Like, they're always consistent. You're not going to see a bad FTR match ever. And it's pretty much just the best way to describe them. Like, they'll go to the ring and put on banger after banger.
They're like, bottom is like a 3.5. That's like the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's when they're carrying someone to a 3.5.
Yeah. But speaking of the bottoms, let's talk about the tops. And this year's top tag team, I wonder who the fuck it is. I wonder.
Scott, I'd like to remind you, did you know that everyone loves the Acclaimed? Because literally everyone, do you have any idea how absurd it is that they got scissoring over as like a thing? Just as a thing. In general, to the point where it's on merchandise. Their team up with Billy Gunn is so popular that Scissor Me Daddy was chanted by thousands of people in an arena to the tune of Seven Nation Army. It still is. It's a whole thing.
It was earlier tonight.
It was that. There's foam figure. Like, they're so over. And like, their storyline, their rise to the top has been so beautiful to watch that I could vote for no one else. Like, I understand there are better, like, there are better tag team matches. Like, Aussie Open is like objectively a better tag team. FTR is however, from the moment that they come out of the tunnel till the moment like after the match is over, they are working for like the crowd, for attention, for entertainment. Like, the working boots are always on in every segment. There's no better tag team at this point for me.
And like, in ring, they've gotten a lot better as well. Like, that was my worry when they became champs, is I was like, yeah, but are they going to be able to keep up with the in-ring stuff? Because obviously, like, they are charismatic as all hell. The rap as they come to the ring is always over. But like, can they get it in ring? And then that first match at All Out is when I said, oh yeah, they're good. They'll be fine. They'll be good.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
They beat FTR tonight, and it was believable. Like, it was a good match. All right. Well, on to our babyface of the year. Last year, that went to the Dark Order, the Wrestle Babies. I've not been bringing them up, mostly because they've been agreeing with us. But this year, they've not. One of them said Wardlow. So, yeah, Wardlow's had a great run. And then the best babyface AEW has was their other nominee, Hangman Adam Page. He's always gonna be on there.
I feel like sometimes you gotta
it was like for all of us, he was like 1B. Like these are all her 1As, but like collectively he was 1B. Overall, he technically wins.
Yeah. I'm not gonna talk too much about mine because we're gonna talk about him even more in a few. But I'm gonna talk more about like what made this person a babyface this year in my eyes, and it's just the fact that
he's no, keep going.
Okay, multiple times this year, this man was supposed to just go on vacation, go fishing, have a nice time, and just chill fucking back with his wife for a few days. And every single time, something went fucking wrong, and someone's bones, usually CM Punk, were like fucked up, and Jon Moxley had to step in and save the day. And every single time he said, I'm not just going to take this ball and walk with it until Punk or someone else gets back. I'm going to run with this motherfucker until when they get back, they're going to say, I don't know if that we should let him give the ball back. I think he needs to keep this ball at this point. Like everyone thought when he lost to MJF that he'd be off on vacation, and they were like, no, stick around, feud with Hangman Page, it's gonna be a great storyline, please, we need you around. Moxley is the face of AEW without a doubt, and this year served to cement that more than anything else.
Would you like to hear my counter argument for why he's not?
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure a babyface can't talk to somebody who had a concussion and go, "Oh, do you not remember?" and then tap their head to the babyface. I will give you that Jon Moxley is an anti-hero at best. I'm not moving him past the gray area.
I guess I'm more speaking about Jonathan Good, the human being, as opposed to Jon Moxley. But yeah, no, he's an anti-hero, but he's also the main character of AEW.
I want you to know the one did not outweigh the other, because there were so many times where I was just like, man, Jon Moxley, the character, is cunty.
A little bit. Not very oozy, Jon Moxley.
Not very oozy. He's anti-oozy.
Yep. All right, Blakey T.
No, Scotty, you mentioned like the idea of just giving like Jon Moxley like, oh man, can we... Did we just give him the championship and just say it's just like you had it, man? Because they literally just did this, as I found out earlier on this show, for Tony Storm, who like has jumped into like that position of like being the interim champion and winning so well and like doing such good in wrestling that everybody was collectively like, no, she just like worked herself into a championship.
Yeah.
You just got worked into a shoot, brother, and that's Tony Storm. Like I know, like we didn't see a lot of like her promo personality, and I would like to see more of that. But I feel like I got a really good like underdog babyface feeling from her run, and that is my bread and butter, even just like watching it without a lot of promo segments.
Oh yeah, Tony killed it this year to a point where, like, you're right, I feel like a majority of people are like, just give her the belt at this point and also quit doing interim shit. And I think that puts a chip on the shoulder that really does help drive these characters to be better and like to perform better. So fuck yeah, Tony Storm's a great babyface of the year. But isn't the number one babyface of 2022 coming from the Dylan?
Yeah. So
here's why you're all wrong.
Yeah, no. You're not completely wrong. There's just there are ways in which I feel I'm more right. This is one of them. This is the one I would have fought the hardest for. If he hadn't gotten this, I would have started actually yelling. So Eddie Kingston is just the greatest blue collar baby face.
Yep.
In like decades, like to an 80s 90s level, where like just the reaction when he comes out on Dark is deafening. and it's just a thing of like, how do you top that? How do you, regardless, like he talks and it's so real and it grabs you the whole time that you never want to cheer against him, even when he does wrong. It's like your friend that you're seeing go through a rough patch. You never want to turn on him because it's so real, and you're always in his corner. And it is outstanding. It is amazing. Like Eddie Kingston is exactly what I think like just a perfect modern babyface is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there's like two different versions of a great modern babyface. One's Hangman Page, the other one is Eddie Kingston, and like the good connection there would be like mental health and just real. Like, one of my favorite lines, this is the ultimate babyface line from this year, is earlier in the year with Hangman, who was just like, I'm hurt, I'm tired, I'm anxious, the meds aren't working, I'm pissed off. Like, I was like, holy shit, I felt that shit. But now, let us move on to the top of the pops, the final award, the Wrestler of the Year. Last year, that went to a man straight from North Carolina, Kenny Omega. But it was such a good run. D, would you like to just keep going?
Yeah, I know, right? So
Eddie Kingston.
So Eddie Kingston. So I know he won't win it, because I think Mox is like the one winning essentially what's the Mick Foley Brawler of the Year award for like Observer every year.
Yeah.
But I really feel it more from Eddie. And like Eddie's matches, like his match against Ishii, his match against Jun Akiyama, like his matches where like he just draws you in. It's all because he fights like somebody that was a street fighter that you taught wrestling moves to.
Yeah.
And then it decided to learn those wrestling moves exclusively from watching All Japan's like mid 90s run. Like, it's such a baffling combo that works flawlessly. Mm-hmm. Like to the point where he's just like the best part about it, and why I think he's like babyface your wrestler of the year, is like I'm watching Eddie Kingston live his dreams.
Yeah.
And you can tell that because of that, he's putting everything he has into each of his matches.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Each of his singles matches, you can tell he's just out there, just like chip on his shoulder, like I have to justify this to myself.
I have to prove this to myself. Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Kingston's had a hell of a year. Like, was it Akiyama he faced at Full Gear on the pre-show?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that was a fucking...
they tried to do that tag match on Rampage, and it was such an off thing that I was offended on behalf of Eddie, and then I went online there...
That was just the ball tickle. That was just the ball tickle.
Then I went online, they were like, Eddie just kept yelling at Tony Khan till he made the match. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like Eddie. That seems about right.
How dare you hold like what I want away from me?
Yeah.
Give him what him wants.
Yeah.
Because it would be beautiful, and it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, on to my Wrestler of the Year, and it's someone who I never thought I would give a Wrestler of the Year award to. Mm-hmm. But when I look back at this year, at some of like the most exciting matches, the top matches, the guy who anytime they were like, oh yeah, he's gonna have a match, I said, okay, fuck yeah, I've got to watch it. It all is freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy of all fucking people. But like him versus Osprey, him versus Pac, him versus fucking Shibata. Shibata came to America and said, "Let me wrestle Pockets."
That should have been Surprise of the Year. I forgot that happened. God damn it. We fucked up. Some of these were not the actual real moments. We just were forgetful. Yeah. Also, in this category, if we're going off of like actual match quality, Ospreay should win by a landslide, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but
we
it's
all agree.
Ospreay.
I know, right? he's like, well, he's got such a punchable face. And he's British, and he's not smart, admittedly. And like, yeah, he's got a good heart, but like, does it really make up for how much of a dumb fuck he is?
But like when you look at Forbidden Door, a show that had numerous New Japan AEW matchups that were like dream matches, and then him and Ospreay just said, "Nah, fuck you, we're gonna steal this whole ass show," and they did it. I think earlier in the year he did an interview, and he straight up said, "I think people have said I've had more breakout matches than anyone else in the history of professional wrestling," because he's always been very good, and it always shocks people because he's the pockets man.
Yes,
but
it's
no,
like,
he's great.
It's what happens when, like, that's the great thing about Pockets Man, is like he can continue to have breakout matches for the rest of his career, and he can do it for a long time, because that means, like, when he takes the hands out of his pockets for a real match, like, that maybe happens once a year now.
And I do love his current gimmick, which is, I'm going to walk around with this belt in a JanSport, and if someone seems slightly upset, I'll just pull the belt out and say, "You want to fight about it?" And then they'll do it.
That's our boy.
By the way, I still love the bit where there was the Rampage main event, and he was like, "Actually, Mark, can we talk a bit more, like just for a few more seconds?" It's like when Mark's trying to be like, "Well, there's been enough talking." It's just like, I don't know, can we talk some more?
No, my favorite was, it was during a triple threat, and obviously there's only it's a 3-camera setup, so it was like Luchasaurus in one, Roosh in the other, and then Mark Henry, and then Mark's like, "I'm here with the competitors of the main," and then it cuts over and Orange Cassidy's right next to Mark introducing the main event. It's so fucking good. But that's not Wrestler of the Year, and Blake, you'll be happy to know Discord did completely agree with you. It was a full sweep for who the Wrestler of the Year is for 2022.
That's none other than the fucking, Scottye, you said it, the main character of AEW, the cornerstone of this shit, without whom it would fall to pieces, John Moxley.
Listen, jack him off a little softer, man.
No, can't do it. This is Wrestler of the Year. Fuck you, I get this.
The ace of AEW.
Listen, there's a difference between Wrestler of the Year and this whole company would crumble without this one dude. Like,
well, then why the fuck did they not let him take a vacation, Dylan? Why the fuck couldn't they let him go? Because you know what? Shit would have crumbled down. You know it.
Listen, I'm just saying crumbled is a very over the top. Granted, it is Moxley, and he is over the top as well. I'm sorry, continue. This is on brand.
Goddamn right. I was right. John Moxley, Wrestler of the Year. We've already talked about it. He's been the workhorse who has come back multiple times from, like, actually relaxing to take care of business. He returned from his stint in rehab earlier this year looking amazing. He has put on, like, that same fighting spirit that I remember when he was that workhorse character in WWE, that I just never got the shit he deserved because of how well he managed to keep up with everybody and everything while he was constantly on TV without any breaks.
Well, he did get that hot dog cart in WWE, and he didn't get one of those in AEW, so really, you know.
Which one is, you know, this is a close second then to that.
To Hot Dog Man, John. Hot Dog Man, Dean Ambrose.
Just grabbing people in the dick with those clippers. The tongs, yeah, tongs to the taint, yeah. It is interesting to see how much there's like an inverse like bar graph or like chart with the how good John Moxley is considered and how much how humorless he's become. It's really
yes.
There's no happiness in John Moxley except when he's fighting. Like he's become like a I don't even know. There's like no direct analog where you just gritty. He's sand. He's that gritty at this point.
He's fucking. I mean, he is the idea of an 80s action movie star. He's a fucking Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
At this point, like
I don't know, he feels more like a John McClane, where it's just like I'm already done with this. I was done with this before I got here, but I'm like do this.
But I don't want to, but I can because I'm the only one that can fucking do it. I know.
Yeah, there we go.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I think
John Moxley.
Wrestler of the Year 2022. But do y'all at home agree? Do you disagree? Leave your nominees for the Golden Boys in the comments below, I guess. Or if you're listening on the podcast feed, go to YouTube and leave it in the comments below. It's not exactly easy to leave a comment on a podcast. But
tweet at us. Tweet at us.
Oh yeah, tweet at us at Fight Boyz Show on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter anymore. None of us are really on social media anymore, so Fight Boyz Show is really the only place you can access us. If you're on Hive, I'm on Hive, that social media app that died after a week. But until next time, remember, it's been the Golden Boys. I feel like we can't just go off like this. I feel like there needs to be more.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas,
it makes
whatever.
me think of the Muppet Show in Hollywood Studios.
25% off your shopping at Kohl's. Come into Kohl's. That's right. Follow us on Twitter at Fight Boyz Show. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever the YouTube people do. Because when you're a Fight Boy, you're a Fight Boy for life.